The IHSA football playoffs continued over the weekend, with one of our schools moving on to the quarterfinals. Bennett Volleyball played an 11th sectional final in 17 years, while runners from all our schools competed at the state meets in cross country. Hello Naperville sports fans, and welcome to our 11th episode of NSW Season 18. I'm your host, Joe Kennedy. After thrashing Perspectives last week, Bennett Academy football went on the road to Rochelle for a second round matchup. For the first time since 2017, Bennett Academy has made it to the second round of the playoffs. This year they find themselves on the road against Rochelle Township High School, a 9-1 team with a high-powered running attack. The winner will move on to the 5A quarterfinals next weekend. Michael Conway kicks the game off for Bennett, and he boots it short to Dylan Manning. Manning bursts through the initial line of defenders and breaks away past midfield before being brought down near the 20-yard line. Moments later, the Hubs are on the one. They toss it to Grant Gensler, and he's able to knife through the defense for the first score of the game. With a successful two-point conversion, Rochelle goes up 8-0 just 2 minutes into the contest. Bennett looks to respond on their first possession. Ryan Kubacki tosses a screen pass to Luke Doyle, and he turns the corner and races down the sideline. He's able to advance near the 25-yard line before being pushed out of bounds. Bennett is now operating in the red zone. Kubacki drops back, rolls out to his right to escape pressure, and then throws over the middle looking for Ben Albert, but Gensler jumps in front of it and takes it the other way. A penalty would negate the return, but the Hubs keep Bennett off the board and go back to work on offense. With a minute left in the quarter, Manning takes the toss, utilizes some big-time blocks, and then beats the last defender to the pylon for another touchdown. With another two-point conversion, the Hubs are now in front 16-0. Now in the second quarter, Rochelle is back in the red zone. Carson Lewis fakes the handoff and rolls out to his left. He lobs it up to Jack Pavlak, who secures the catch and nearly crosses the goal line. The Hubs are set up for a first and short. On the next play, Gensler gets the carry and walks into the end zone easily. His second touchdown of the game makes it 24-0 with 7 minutes left in the first half. Moving on to the second half, the Red Wings are in the red zone, this time with some trickery. They pull out the double reverse flea flicker, and Declan Walsh is able to come down with the pass from Kubacki. Bennett is on the board, but they're still facing a 24-6 deficit. Rochelle's back in possession, operating on their own 25-yard line. They hand it off to Gensler on the sweep, and he finds a lane, and he's off to the races once again. He outruns a couple of Red Wings down the sideline and crosses the goal line for a third time this evening, giving the Hubs a 32-6 lead. Rochelle tacks on one more touchdown as they defeat Bennett 38-6. They move on to the quarterfinals and will play the winner of Nazareth and Woodstock North. Naperville Central crushed Schaumburg to open the football playoffs and faced a high-powered passing attack in Fremd in the second round. Let's see how the Hawks fared on Friday night.
Naperville Central is back in the second round of the IHSA 8A football playoffs for a second straight season after a 48-0 first-round win over Schaumburg. Now the Hawks are hoping for their first quarterfinal appearance since 2017, but need to get by Fremd. The Vikings are back in the playoffs for the first time since 2019, but haven't won a second-round game since 2009. The Red Hawks resumed their game plan from last week as Sebastian Hayes drops back and finds an open Deshaun Williams, who moves the chains for a 14-yard play. The drive caps off with Aiden Clark running to the outside and into the end zone for a Red Hawk touchdown. The first score of the game puts Central up 7-0. Clark continues to do his thing like he has all season, and that's just running for big plays like this 15-yard pickup. Back in the red zone are the Hawks, but here comes a new scorer, and that is Deshaun Williams receiving the touchdown pass from Sebastian Hayes. It's 14-0 Red Hawks. In the second quarter, the Vikings are marching as quarterback Johnny O'Brien rolls out looking for a target, but Nick Zabilet intercepts the pass, and the Hawks defense keeps the goose egg on the board. The turnover fuels Hayes, who gets away from trouble before throwing a dart to Williams, which gets the red and white past midfield. Hayes and the Hawks keep going, and he passes to Garrett Nichols for the touchdown, and it's a 21-0 lead for the home team. The Vikings are hoping for any score before the half, but O'Brien gets stripped by Troy Cashel, and Jake Stanish falls on it for the turnover. Gavin Ellison adds on a field goal to give Central a 24-0 lead at the half. In the second half, O'Brien and his squad are fighting to keep their season alive, so he unloads a beautiful rainbow downfield to an open Marquand Brewster in the back of the end zone for the Vikings' first touchdown of the game. They go for two and get it to make it a 24-8 deficit. On the Hawks' next drive, they drop the end around with Jermaine Kennedy, who picks up the first down but coughs the ball up, and Jason Hardy recovers the fumble for Frem. So the Vikings look for points, but Gavin Wade looks for the football and picks it off. Wade sees nothing but green grass in front of him, and he houses it for the pick six, and it's a 31-8 lead for Central. Vikings answer right back with O'Brien throwing a bomb to leading receiver Brennan Sachs, who makes an unbelievable catch for the touchdown. The Vikings trail 31-14 after the explosive 45-yard play. Does Hayes have an answer? He looks for Williams again, but finds Amon Parikh, who makes the interception. Back comes O'Brien, who continues to unleash his arm, and wide open is Brewster for 6. 35 yards later, Fremd is now trailing 31-21. In the fourth quarter, the Hawks just want to milk the clock, and Clark uses his feet as always to get a first down. They are sniffing the end zone to put it away, but Clark fumbles the ball and Joe Gump comes up with the pigskin. As for O'Brien, he passes for 417 yards on the night, and here's 15 of them to Brewster and a touchdown. 3 touchdowns on 143 yards receiving in the game for Brewster, while O'Brien surpasses 3,000 passing yards this season. It's a 31-28 game with over 2 minutes left. Late in the game, the Hawks need a big play, and they get it from Hayes, who finds an open Aaron Nussbaum for the first down, and that's it. Naperville Central is moving on to the quarterfinals for the first time since 2017 and will take on Lyons Township in the next round.
Until this fall, District 204 never had any full bowling teams in the 2 decades since the sport first joined the IHSA. We'll have more on the new co-op joining the DVC after the break.
Okay, 500 deluxe garden gnomes. Wow.
I only meant to order 5. There's not enough money in my account for these. I'm gonna get charged.
2 things I just can't deal with: overdraft charges and garden gnomes. But your BMO Smart Advantage checking account gives you an extra day to avoid an overdraft fee.
Nice to see a bank cutting people some slack.
Well, mistakes happen, and we give you time to correct them.
So you don't like gnomes, huh? What about that one?
That one I like a lot.
BMO.
2 dealerships, side by side, identical in every way. What makes the difference? The experience. That's why more people choose Fair Oaks Lincoln. Incredible selection, knowledgeable salespeople, and a world-class experience you can't find anywhere else. Get 0% APR financing on most new Lincoln models this month at Fair Oaks Lincoln in Naperville, where the dealership experience makes the difference.
A boys bowling team in District 204 has been in the works for nearly a decade. Over the weekends, they made their debut. NSW's Justin Cornwell has more on the Valley 204 Co-op in our latest feature story presented by Fair Oaks Ford.
For nearly a decade, Metea Valley girls bowling coach Kristen Mansmith has been working to get a full boys bowling program off the ground. The Mustangs have had a bowling club as well as individuals competing in the IHSA postseason, some of them very successfully. But it was not until this season that District 204 created the Valley Co-op, giving students from Metea, Waubonsie, and Neuqua Valley the opportunity to compete in the state series as an official team, 22 years after the first IHSA state bowling tournament made its debut. Kathy Wansowski was named the inaugural head coach earlier this fall and is ready to guide the team on its maiden voyage.
That's how you do it! Well, I was contacted by our assistant principal saying, I know you're interested in getting involved with coaching again, and mentioned bowling. And thanks to Kristen Mansmith, the girls coach, who started this program, and now I've taken this over, so we're starting a new tradition that we're really, really excited.
Adding niche sports like bowling to a school's athletic department offers students new opportunities to connect through a shared interest that may have otherwise gone undiscovered. It also gives more kids a chance to feel a greater connection to their school community.
We had a couple parents come up and say, my son is a little quiet, he might need a little bit help here and there, and they just got all sucked in together and just welcomed each one of them from day one and really started going. So you're seeing, as you mentioned, the kids who may not be involved in anything, this is their one thing here, but all the different people they're going to get to know. So now when they walk in the hallways, there's somebody else that they know, which is even more of a connection to school when you're outside across schools, but also within your own school.
The first Valley 204 roster is a mix of newcomers, some with previous high school athletics experience in sports like football and baseball, while others are brand new to it all. Some have been waiting for this kind of team to become official for years, while others saw the opportunity to try something new and fun with their friends.
Honestly, it was just the whole idea of team bowling. I've always enjoyed bowling over the summer. I go with Alex and Jacob both over the summer at Bolero. And so just the whole idea of working as a team to do the sport that we all love. And also Alex was a big part of recruiting me, and Jacob. He would go around every day, he'd be like, bowling team tonight, I'll see you there. And that was kind of a big thing.
I've talked to a lot of friends about it, and they've said they wanted to and have other sports and stuff, but everybody kind of seems like they want to do it. So I think it's really cool that we're the first people to get to.
Not only are we excited to kind of have this as something to socialize and kind of interact with our friends, but also looking at our roster, I'm seeing a lot of guys who I think can put up some nice scores, and I think we'll be able to compete this year.
The inaugural roster consists of 14 bowlers from Metea Valley and 4 from Waubonsie Valley. With the Fox Bowl in Wheaton being the lone available venue to host the new team, it makes getting bowlers from 3 different schools together for practices, tournaments, and meets a greater challenge. That is one of the reasons there are no Neuqua Valley representatives on this year's team. 2 team members from Metea Valley, Andrew Lopez and Ryan Lynch, do have varsity bowling experience, having competed as individuals for the Mustangs at the club level a season. Now as seniors, they get to share their knowledge and expertise with their new teammates.
And it comes with confidence because me and Andrew have that experience here, so we've been here before. We know how to get going and how to keep rolling.
While there are sure to be bumps in the road for a brand new program with many first-year bowlers, the excitement level is high to make boys bowling history for the District 204 Valley Schools.
Honestly, it just feels very different. Energy is different, and having more team players and having a different school, it feels great. And I get along with everyone here and just have a great time here.
We have huge parent support. We have, both schools are, athletic departments. So it's a whole group effort in this to help support the kids, and knowing that, like you mentioned, there's going to be some growing pains with this. We understand, but we're upfront with them and letting them know, so we know that we'll all learn together, and hopefully that'll carry on and creates a lot of success this year, because we're starting with nothing and starting a whole new tradition, so everything we do is going to be a record.
After winning a 17 straight regional title, Bennett girls volleyball took on St. Charles North in the sectional final. We'll give you that highlight and more after the break.
In these complicated times, local news has never been more important. DailyHerald.com lets you stay connected to your community, wherever you are.
We live in a safe community, but not a crime-free community. If you see something, say something. Be a Naperville Crime Stopper.
Bennett Academy continues its yearly business trip to the girls' volleyball sectional final as the Red Wings make their 15th appearance in school history. St. Charles North stands across the net, who is looking for its first sectional final since 2017 when they finished 4th at state. The Red Wings pick up right where they left off in their 2-set sectional semifinal win. On this possession, they need another reset, and Brooklyn Brass gets a kill to make it 5-3 Bennett. Later on, the North Stars get a kill from Amber Zerniak to get the set to within 1 point. Stars are on to serve, and Audrey Asleason throws everyone off guard with a send-back, and it works in her advantage. Bennett stays in control, but St. Charles North has something to say. After the reset, Penn State commit Haley Bergdorf displays an aggressive spike and they trail 18-13. The crawl back continues for the team in blue jerseys, and this time they get a block from Ellie Sutter, and it's a 3-point deficit. However, Bennett answers back with Anaya Warren drawing the ace. Red Wings lead 24-18 with set point coming up, and good luck when Liddy Tarnow is in the middle. She gets the kill, and BA wins the set 25-18. In the second set, the North Stars form into a new team. They jump out to a 7-3 lead and don't hold back, and neither does Bergdorf, who flies through the middle for the kill. Bennett knows how to keep their grind, and Tarnow and Asleason rise for the block to keep them in it. North Stars steal a point with an ace from Amber Zerniak to grow the lead to 13-9. That just fuels the Wings. Kira O'Donnell floats it over, but it gets saved. So Asleason sets up O'Donnell for another opportunity, and this time it works for a Red Wing kill. Red Wings get the kills, and the North Stars get the aces as Bergdorf pulls another one from her deck. It's not over when you're playing Bennett. Brooklyn Brass keeps the set alive with another kill, and the deficit is down to 1. It's still at 1, but who wants this point? St. Charles North has a chance to force a third set up 26-25, but Bennett, and specifically O'Donnell, do not want a third set, so she spices up her spike, and this set is tied at 26. Match point is coming up for Bennett, and a potential rally is about to happen, but an error goes against St. Charles North, and Bennett Academy is sectional champions once again. Red Wings take it in straight sets and move on to the super sectionals where they'll face New Trier.
Schools from across Illinois gather at Detweiler Park for the 2A cross-country finals on a rainy, overcast day. We start with the girls as Bennett Academy faces off against schools such as Sandwich, Washington, and St. Ignatius. The 29 schools line up for the start as the gun fires to get this race underway. On the 1 mile mark, it's a dead heat between Sundara Weber of Sandwich and Annika Swan of St. Ignatius, who are neck and neck in the opening section of the race. Meanwhile, 3rd through 7th are under a tight blanket, with normal teammates Zoe Carter and Natalie Bierbaum fighting St. Francis teammates Erin Hinsdale and Elena Maminga and Clark Goranson from Mantino for position. Now on to the 2nd mile. Weber maintains a slight advantage over Swan as they now race nose to tail for the lead. Carter prevails in the 3rd place battle, sitting comfortably ahead of the rest of the competition. Coming to the finish line, Weber puts a good-sized gap between herself and Swan and claims the 2A race with an overall time of 16 minutes and 11.3 seconds. Swan takes 2nd with a time of 16 minutes and 27.8 seconds, while Carter secures 3rd. Rounding out the top 5 is the St. Francis teammates Hinsdale and Maminga. Winning the team scores is St. Ignatius with a score of 76. DePaul finishes second with 177, while Chatham takes third with a 217 score. Claiming all-state honors is Bennett senior Delilah Hellenhaus, who finishes 8th with a time of 17 minutes and 12.6 seconds. Also finishing in the top 35 for the Red Wings is Kara Jenke in 32nd. Now on to the boys' race, as Bennett Academy is also in, taking on teams such as DePaul, Dixon, and Peyton. With the clouds growing darker and the rain picking up, the 2A boys' race is underway with more muddier conditions. Finn Richards leads the field at the first mile, but the rest of the top 5 is bearing down his neck, with Glenbard South's Thomas Jochum and the Marion twins of Raphael and Gabriel Greer all in hot pursuit as the field is still running close together. At the second mile mark, the top 2 have now distanced themselves as Richards leads, but Jochum running right behind him, lurking for the lead. Behind them, Kanelin's Evan Nosek moves into third, while the Greer twins still round out the top 5. However, at the race's end, it's Richards who puts a comfortable gap between himself and Jochum as he runs the distance and claims the 2A individual race win with a time of 14 minutes and 21.10 seconds. Jochum takes second with a 14 minute and 31.90 second time, while Nosek holds on to finish third, with Coiler Swanson from Morris taking fourth, while Peyton's Tremonti Williams rounds out the top 5. Also finishing in the top 50 for Bennett is Hayden Hewlett in 47th as Richards takes the first place medal. Winning the team scores overall is Peyton with a final score of 113. Morton finishes in second with a 191, just 4 points ahead of Latin in third with a 195.
Let's go bananas because it's time for the boys and girls 3A state cross country meet at Detweiler Park in Peoria on a rainy Saturday. For the girls, Naperville Central, North, and first-time qualifiers Waubonsie Valley bring in their squads, while Neuqua Valley has individuals running for new times, along with Metea Valley's Kaylee Russell making an individual appearance. We start with the girls' race and they're off. It's a tight pack to start things off, but as we get into it, Barrington's Mia Sirwa begins to pull away in the top spot as a pack forms behind her. During the race, Naperville North's Emma Barris and Rihanna Tandon stay next to each other, while Naperville Central's Lola Setri Morales and Waubonsie's Mia Bertoloni stay in the middle of the pack, followed by Shania Tandon. Halfway through, Sierra has nobody in sight and sees nothing but an open course. Barris and Rihanna Tandon keep their pace going in the top 15. Coming to the finish line, Sierra cruises her way to a new course record with a time of 15 minutes and 53 seconds. Barris is the area's top finisher for the girls at 13th, while Rihanna Tandon takes 15th, followed by Shania in 24th to earn All-State. Barrington wins the girls' 3A state cross-country championship by 1 point over York.
Bennett Academy played Rochelle in the second round of the IHSA football playoffs, where 4 Red Wings combined to score on a reverse flea flicker. The Red Wings trail in the fourth quarter and pull off some trickery. Kubaki hands it off to Radgowski, who pitches it to Doyle, and he gives it back to the quarterback. Kubaki throws it on the run to Declan Walsh, who rises for the touchdown. Let's take one more look at the play. It's great execution from the Red Wing offense, but Rochelle would go on to win and move on in the playoffs.
Okay, 500 deluxe garden gnomes. Wow.
I only meant to order 5. There's not enough money in my account for these. I'm gonna get charged.
2 things I just can't deal with: overdraft charges and garden gnomes. But your BMO Smart Advantage checking account gives you an extra day to avoid an overdraft fee.
Nice to see a bank cutting people some slack.
Well, mistakes happen, and we give you time to correct them.
So you don't like gnomes, huh? What about that one?
That one I like a lot.
When it comes to interest rates, it seems the Fed only knows one direction, up. That's not fair. If you're fed up with high rates, head over to Fair Oaks Ford. You can get 0.9% APR financing for 66 months. Now that's fair. Plus, you'll get what J.D. Power called the best customer experience in the business. Fair Oaks Ford on Ogden Avenue in Naperville. You've got a friend in the car business. Shop online 24/7 at fairoaksford.com.
We have a girls swimming sectional hosted at Mattia Valley High School. All our Naperville area teams are in attendance as everyone fights for a spot at next weekend's state meets in Westmont. Neuqua Valley comes off a DVC title last weekend, while Rosary enters as last year's sectional champion. Let's begin the day with the 200-yard medley relay. It's a close start before Rosary takes the advantage with a team of Abby Moore, Elizabeth Nauraki, Ariana Nakula, and Bella Wotowicz with a time of 1 minute and 42.62 seconds. Neuqua Valley's Natalie Sierzanowski, Marissa Kondrasheva, Emily Wu, and Sophia LeBaire come in second place, while Naperville Central's very own Shannon Shu, Natalie Vogel, Lauren Eschmeyer, Alexa Goldstone get third. Bennett, Wabanzi, and Naperville North also qualify their teams to the state meet. As we dive into the 200-yard freestyle event, Bennett's very own Lucy Rooney comes out strong as she takes the lead. She's able to hold on to the lead and finish in first with a time of 1 minute and 51.22 seconds. Neuqua Valley's Carolina Pieter finishes in third place, qualifying for states as well. Moving on to the 100-yard fly, Rosary gets back into the win column, with Nakula finishing with a time of 55.48 seconds. Eschmeyer from Naperville Central, Neuqua's Wu, and Sierzanowski, along with Bella Plude and Abby Brown from Wabanzi Valley, also qualify for state. We are in for the long haul for the 500-yard freestyle as Rosary continues to take the lead tonight, with Paige Coal finishing with a time of 4 minutes and 55.87 seconds. However, swimmers like Carolina Pieter from Neuqua Valley, Molly Schulk from Mattia Valley, and Annika Anderson from Neuqua Valley all qualify for states based on their times in this event. Moving back into the relays with a 200-yard freestyle relay event, the start of the race gets off to an even start. Rosary's Becky Rentz, Nakula, Kowal, and Olivia Moore jump out to a big lead and don't look back. The Beads set a new pool record with a time of 1 minute and 33.7 seconds. Bennett's Rooney, Imogen Duffy, Abby Morrissey, and Claire Donnelly, and Neuqua Valley's Sophia LeBaire, Sophia Pieter, Alice Mang, and Sierzanowski also qualify for states in second and third place. Wabanzi, Central, and North rounds out the top 6, and all will send their teams to the state meet. Our last event of the night is underway in the 400-yard freestyle relay. This one always brings the hype, and Rosary once again gets the win with Nakula, Becky Rentz, Nauraki, and Kowal. Neuqua Valley also finishes in second with Sophia Pieter, Carolina Pieter, Mang, and Sierzanowski. Wabanzi Valley is the last state qualifying relay team with Kaylin Ball, Melanie Maddyman, Brown, and Honchuruk. Rosary wins the Mattia Valley sectional, highlighted by setting a new pool record. Every Naperville area team will have at least one swimmer at next weekend's state meet. That wraps up this week's episode of NSW. The state swim meet and our first winter sports highlights are on the way next week. You can find all our full highlights, feature stories, and community sports on nctv17.org. You can also find us on social media at NCTV17 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Joe Kennedy.